It was an inconvenient weekend to work at Dairy Queen or be a Jonas brother. That's right, a blizzard named Jonas gave 20 inches of snow to the people up north. Now, speaking of Jonas, here's where I get a little jealous. I've been in Florida all my life and I've never seen snow. In fact, just pop in the movie Frozen, it kind of mocks me because I do want to build a snowman. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Rob Rodriguez. Some things are so common that your instant response is, why am I not surprised? For instance, something happens so often that you just don't react to it anymore. Now, you know when you're at a diner and then you're putting your drink orders in, and then you ask for a Coke, but they stop you right there and they're like, "Oh, is Pepsi okay?" I mean, really, you're saying yes, it's fine out loud, but what are you thinking in your mind? You gotta be prepared to react here, because, true story, one time I was at a diner with my uncle and brother, the older one, and his order was a little weird. Like, he had a very fast reaction time. Yes, so his order, and I quote, in quotation marks, which could be the bouncing bunny ears or the bouncing peace sign, he said, "Yeah, how big are your pancakes?" The waitress answered, "They're about this big." And then, without any hesitation, he was like, "I would like a cheeseburger, ketchup only, nothing on it." Now sure, it became an inside joke between me and my uncle for years. And we never let him live it down, trust me. So the McRib is a limited time sandwich. Like, people are happy when they first hear the announcement that it's back. I mean, 2015, it didn't come back at all. But, you know, it's like it never left every time you order one. That's just the unusual part of it. How about this? This is really common, and I'm actually guilty of it. Something could be around for a very long time, and you just get into it years later. It's like, what, were you in a time capsule to the point where you just opened it, and then you're like, wow, this is good. Like, how far along is it that I have to catch up? Because, you know, you're basically catching up on the reruns, and then you never get to the actual series, and then it's off television forever. Your favorite characters leave the show. You didn't know your favorite character, spoiler alert, died. And so on. Music is the same way. I mean, I just got into this 21 Pilots stuff. They're actually really good. I mean, you really gotta evolve to this kind of stuff because, you know, if you go to the pure pop station on your Apple Music or your iTunes radio, because that's what it's going to always be called to me, like Snoop Dogg is always going to be Snoop Dogg, and I am not his nephew either. How about this? You book entertainment at a party. This is actually very unrealistic, by the way, because these things are like $100 million to do. Like, you asked for, let's say, a popular child star to show up. She, you know, from Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, Cartoon Network at the least. But instead, you know who you got? You got the Peter Pan kid from the Geico commercial. Oh my goodness, what an annoyance, am I right? Well, we got a great show. When we come back, let's talk about innuendo and how the kids shows are getting away with them. Every TV show is guilty of this, no matter what your audience and demographic is. There's things that you can say to get away with saying something very messed up. For instance, you know, how can we somehow hint at this word? I know, duck and yuck rhyme with the word we're trying to hint at. let's use that. I mean, personally, being an introvert and a glass half full guy, I honestly think maybe the word twerk is just an abbreviation for teamwork. However, Nickelodeon started using the word twerk very loosely, and they actually know what they're talking about. In fact, one show said it, and they had what appeared to be a homeless guy do it. Disney also has spread a lot of controversy with a lot of their shows, trying to be a little adult, but in some cases they're being really inappropriate while doing it. For instance, every time they have a condition on their show, like being a gluten phobic, or being a supermodel and making jokes about not eating, those episodes get banned. In fact, if you even write that in a Disney script, you should just have a big stamp that says, episode will be banned, we'll have to re-edit it later if we want future broadcasts. Alright, it is now time for the possibility list, the weekly list we do every week. You know, it's kind of like flossing, only instead of having to do it every day and you forget, I gotta do this every week and remember. Alright, there are people in this world who like things a certain way, but some of them go a little too far. This list is titled 6 Signs You Might Be Picky. Well, you know, you always have routine. Like me, for instance, I don't like change that much. But, you know, it's kind of drawing some sort of a line if, number 6, you've had the same haircut for 10 years. Let's see what else we got. You know, when you liked to have your toys set up a certain way when you were a kid. Maybe if you're one of those 40-year-old collectors, you still like your toys a certain way, in the box untouched. But what if at number 5, Barbie dolls and the Bratz dolls can't interact with each other whatsoever? Pretty interesting part of the list. Remember earlier in the show, I kind of left you with a cliffhanger as if I was setting up the sequels? Well, at number 4, no, Pepsi is not okay. Again, organization is key, but what if at number 3, you have a drawer with only black socks in it? You know, some TV series change so much that it causes their audience to leave the show. But, you know, it's kind of unreasonable that number 2, you stopped watching 2.5 Men when Charlie Sheen left. And number 1, on 6 Signs You Might Be Picky. You can only watch a Lifetime movie if it has a very complicated title. Alright, and that is your possibility list for you this week. Well, anyway, that is the show for you this week. You know to follow me on social media. Until next time, this is Rob Rodriguez saying, please enjoy my pre-selected clip. I don't know why my voice cracked like that. See you next time. Alright. Alright, now before we begin, this episode's a little important to follow, so I suggest you take some accurate notes. I said accurate notes?